Before we dive in, I need you to do one thing. Drop whatever noise the world is throwing at you. Because what you're about to hear isn't just a story. It's a wake-up call, a spiritual punch straight to the heart. This isn't about religion. This isn't about rules. This is about love that flips your whole world upside down. Shams of Tabriz didn't just speak. He triggered a level up in Rumi so deep that the dude literally transformed from a scholar into a lover of life. And if you listen closely, you might feel something shift inside you too. So buckle up, because this audiobook isn't cute poetry. It's raw, soul-shaking truth. Before anything else, take a breath. Because what you're about to step into isn't some chill love story. This is the kind of love that cracks you open, the kind that flips your whole life like, yo, you ready to see the real you? This is where Rumi's world gets shaken by a man named Shams. A dude who walked through life like he was carrying fire in his chest. He wasn't here to impress people. He wasn't here to sound smart. He wasn't chasing validation or followers or any of that noise. He was here to deliver truth. Raw, uncomfortable, life-changing truth. And Rumi? He had everything. Respect. Status. People hanging on to every word he said. He was that guy in his community, polished, admired, calm. But inside, he didn't even know he was starving for something deeper. Something real. Something that would shake his soul awake. Shams shows up like a storm, looking Rumi dead in the eyes. Basically telling him, everything you think you know, yeah, that's cute. But now it's time to learn with your heart, not your ego. And that's where Rule 1 comes in. The path to God, to truth, to love. It doesn't go through the brain. It runs straight through the heart. See, these days everyone's out here overthinking life. Googling their feelings. Acting like vulnerability is a weakness. Everybody wants to sound deep. But nobody wants to actually feel deep. Shams wasn't playing that game. He straight up told Rumi, you've been living in your head for too long. You want real love? You gotta step into the fire. And that's the wild part about love. Real love doesn't tiptoe around your life. It doesn't ask permission. It knocks over your walls like, hey, time to upgrade your soul. Love isn't soft. Love isn't polite. Love is the force that breaks you where you need breaking, and rebuilds you into who you were always meant to be. Rumi had no idea how much he needed that storm. He didn't know love would be the thing that stripped him down, exposed him, and made him confront every lie he told himself. But deep down, that transformation was already calling his name. That fire was already on its way. And once Shams walked into his life, nothing, absolutely nothing, stayed the same. Rumi didn't realize it yet, but meeting Shams was the moment everything in his life quietly said, all right man, level up time. Shams wasn't the type to sugarcoat anything. He wasn't going to sit there and feed Rumi compliments. Or hype him up just because everyone else did. Nah, this dude walked straight through Rumi's polished reputation like it was nothing. He saw the scholar. He saw the teacher. He saw the respected spiritual figure. But he also saw the truth Rumi didn't show the world. That tiny ache behind his ribs. That silent longing for something bigger. Something real. Something that wasn't measured in titles, lectures, or applause. Shams looked at him like, bro, you've been living in a cage decorated with respect. And Rumi didn't even know how to react. Nobody talked to him like that. Nobody challenged him like that. Everyone treated him like he had all the answers. Except Shams. Shams carried a different kind of energy. The energy of someone who burned everything fake in himself. And walked out of the ashes with nothing but truth. And when you meet someone who's that genuine, that fearless, that spiritually raw, it hits you. It shakes you. It exposes the parts of you you've been hiding. Shams asked questions that cut deeper than knives. What do you fear? What are you pretending not to feel? Who are you when nobody's watching? These weren't small talk questions. These were questions designed to blow up your ego and make your soul speak up for the first time. And Rumi, the respected scholar, the man everyone looked up to, found himself speechless. Not because he didn't know the answers, but because nobody had ever dared to ask him real questions before. Then came another one of Sham's rules. A truth so sharp it almost hurt to hear. Loneliness and solitude are two different things. One makes you weak, the other makes you strong. In today's words, Shams basically told him, being alone doesn't mean you're empty, bro. Sometimes it's the only way to hear your own damn heart. Because here's the thing. Most people stay busy just so they don't have to face themselves. They drown in noise. In people, in routines, in distractions. Anything to avoid hearing that quiet voice inside that says, hey, something's missing. Shams saw that in Rumi. He saw a man surrounded by people, but starving for connection. He saw a man respected by everyone, but disconnected from himself. And he knew, before you can love anyone, before you can love God, before you can even understand life, you gotta learn how to sit with your own soul, without running from it. That's when Rumi started feeling the shift. Not loud, not dramatic, but deep, silent, unshakable. He started realizing that this stranger, this wandering mystic, this unpredictable, intense, unapologetic soul named Shams, was about to change his whole destiny. And for the first time in a long time, Rumi wasn't afraid. He was curious. He was awake. He was ready, even if he didn't know it yet. Day by day, something wild started happening to Rumi. He wasn't just talking to Shams anymore. He was changing because of him. And real talk? Growth is uncomfortable. You don't level up without feeling like the old version of you is dying a little. That's exactly what was happening. Shams was like this mirror Rumi never asked for, but desperately needed. A mirror that didn't show his face, but his truth. Every flaw, every fear, every insecurity he kept buried under years of praise and perfection. Shams saw it all like it was written in neon lights. People in town started noticing the shift too. They weren't used to seeing Rumi sit with one man for hours, talking, questioning, laughing, challenging everything he ever believed. They whispered. They judged. Some even got jealous. They wanted the old Rumi back, the calm, predictable scholar, who fit neatly into the box they built for him. But Rumi wasn't going back. He couldn't. Once you taste real truth, the fake stuff loses its flavor. Shams hit him with another rule, one that felt like it punched straight into his soul. If you want to change the way others treat you, first you gotta learn to treat yourself with respect. In today's vibe, Shams basically said, bro, stop playing small just to keep other people comfy. And damn, Rumi felt that. He realized he'd been living like a guest in his own life, trying to please the world, while ignoring the one voice that mattered, his own. Shams wasn't gentle about it either. He told him straight up, you don't owe these people a version of yourself that isn't real. The moment you live for the crowd, you stop living for God, you stop living for love, you stop living for yourself. Rumi sat with that, and it hit different. It hit deep. Because all his life, he'd been the guy people admired, but admiration is cheap when it chains you down. Respect is nice, but freedom? Freedom is priceless. Slowly, Rumi started dropping the masks. He talked more honestly. He felt more openly. He questioned everything, not out of doubt, but out of hunger for something real. And Shams? He was watching him change with this calm, knowing smile, like he had seen this transformation 1,000 times, in 1,000 different souls. He wasn't surprised. He wasn't impressed. He was simply present. Present in a way Rumi had never experienced before. That presence was a lesson in itself. Shams didn't love halfway. He didn't teach halfway. He didn't connect halfway. He showed up all in. And he expected Rumi to do the same. That's when the next rule revealed itself. Not through words, but through Shams' existence. Real love, divine love, shows up fully, fearlessly, without holding back. It doesn't care what people think. It doesn't care about reputation. It cares about truth. And Rumi, for the first time in his entire life, felt what it meant to be fully seen. Not admired, not respected, but seen. And it terrified him. But it also freed him. The old Rumi was fading, and every conversation with Shams pulled him closer to the man he was always meant to become. As Rumi kept growing, something else started happening. Something darker, something the world always does. When it sees someone changing too fast, people started turning on Shams. They didn't understand him. They couldn't control him. And humans always fear what they can't control. They whispered that he was dangerous, that he was leading Rumi away from his path, that he was messing up the order of things. But what they were really afraid of was that Rumi was finally waking up. Because when one person rises, everyone around them has two choices: rise with them, or pull them back down. And guess which option most people choose? Rumi felt that pressure. He felt the tension in the air whenever Shams walked into a room. He felt the jealousy, the resentment, the silent judgment radiating off people who used to adore him. But here's the thing. Rumi wasn't the same man they once adored. He wasn't interested in being worshipped or followed anymore. He wanted truth. He wanted connection. He wanted fire, the kind that melts you and remakes you. And Shams kept pushing him deeper. No fluff, no spiritual aesthetics, just raw transformation. Then came another rule, one that landed like a lightning strike. Wherever you are, and whatever you do, be in love. Not fall in love. Not find love. Be in love. Live like your soul is plugged into something bigger, something higher, something that makes life glow from the inside out. In plain today's language, Shams was telling him, bro, stop moving through life on autopilot. Wake up. Love what you do. Love who you are. Love the freaking moment you're in. And damn. When Rumi heard that, he felt a warmth inside his chest. He hadn't felt since he was a child. Like something ancient and forgotten had just started breathing again. But growth always has a cost. The more Rumi connected with Shams, the more the world tried to tear them apart. Friends who once praised him now questioned him. Students who admired his knowledge now doubted his judgment. His own community couldn't handle the version of him that Shams brought to life. And this is the painful truth. The minute you start evolving, you stop fitting in the places you once belonged. Shams told him straight up, without fear, without hesitation. If people hate the new you, it's because the old you made them too comfortable. Rumi felt that deep, like someone pulled the truth right out of his ribs. He started realizing that love, real love, divine love, transforming love, wasn't about pleasing the world. It was about burning away every lie, until only truth remained. He wasn't done burning yet. Rumi could feel something coming, the storm, the shift, something big that would change everything again. He didn't know what it was, but the air around them felt heavy, electric, alive, like they were standing in the middle of destiny itself. And deep inside, Rumi understood one thing clearly. His heart was never going back to the man he used to be. Life has a strange way of circling back, doesn't it? One moment, you think you've reached the end of your rope, and the next, something cracks open inside you. something you didn't even know was waiting. That's exactly what happens when love, real love, steps in. Not the kind that blinds you, not the kind that chains you, but the kind that wakes you up. Ella walked into this story thinking she was just reading a book, a simple manuscript from a stranger across the world. She didn't know she was actually walking toward herself. Every email, every conversation, every emotion knit her closer to a truth she'd been denying for years. She wasn't living, she was just existing. It wasn't Aziz who saved her. It wasn't Shams. It wasn't even Rumi. It was the reflection she found in them, the reflection of a woman who still had fire, curiosity, and courage buried inside. And Rumi, the great poet who wandered the earth in search of something he couldn't name, he only found it when Shams appeared. Shams wasn't there to comfort him. He wasn't there to praise him. He was there to shake him, break him, and rebuild him into who he was meant to be. That's the real secret. The people who come into your life and rearrange your soul, they're never accidents. They're assignments. Shams taught Rumi that real love demands honesty. It demands removing the mask, even when the truth burns. And when Shams vanished, whether taken by destiny or taken by men, Rumi was forced to face the raw, unbearable ache that true love leaves behind. But here's the twist. That pain didn't destroy him. It transformed him. The silence after Shams became poetry. The heartbreak became wisdom. The loss became light. That's the rule of love most people never understand. Love doesn't come to complete you. It comes to evolve you. Ella learned this too. And slowly, she stopped shrinking herself to fit into a life that no longer felt like hers. She chose truth over comfort. She chose freedom over habit. And like Rumi, she understood that the journey isn't about finding someone who makes your world colorful. It's about becoming someone who no longer fears the colors. In the end, the rules of love aren't just lines in a manuscript. They're invitations. Invitations to rise, to soften, to shed, to become. And if you're listening right now, maybe that's why this story found its way into your life. Because somewhere inside you, a door is waiting to open. A voice is whispering that you're stronger, deeper, and more capable of love than you've allowed yourself to believe. So take a breath. Take a step. Take a chance. Love will meet you halfway, always. And that is the real miracle. If this hit you even a little, good. That means Rule 1 just did its job. Because real love isn't about comfort. It's about transformation.